All right, guys. So let's continue on. Trump, the art of the deal. So see what Trump does on Fridays. Finish off the first chapter. So Friday, 6:30 a.m. I'm leafing through the New York Times when I come to a huge picture of the concrete being poured onto Woolman Rink. It's on the front page of the second section. This story just won't quit. 9:15 a.m. We meet with the city on the West Side Yards project. Almost everyone from yesterday's meeting is there, and we are joined by 4 city planners, including Rebecca Robinson and Con Howe, who are directly in charge of evaluating our project. Alex does the presentation, and he's very good. Mostly he emphasizes the things we know the city is going to like: the public parks, the easy access to the waterfront, the ways we've devised to move traffic in and out. The only time the density issue comes up, how tall the buildings will be, Alex just says we're still working it out. When it's over, we all agree it went very well. 10:30 a.m. I get back to my office for a meeting to discuss progress on construction at Trump Park, the condominium I'm building out of the steel shell of the Barbizon Plaza Hotel on Central Park South. It's an incredible location, and the building we're redoing will be a great success. The meeting includes Frank Williams, my architect on the project, Andrew Weiss, the project manager, and Blanche Sprague, an executive vice president who was in charge of sales. Frank, who is very soft-spoken, is a fine architect. Blanchett, my nickname for her, is a classic. She's got a mouth that won't quit, which is probably why she's so good at sales. I like to tell her that she must be a very tough woman to live with. The truth is, I get a great kick out of her. We start by talking about what color to use on the frames of the windows. Details like these makes all the difference in the look and ambience of a building. After almost a half hour, we finally agree on a light beige that will blend right into the door of the stone. I happen to like earth stones. They are richer and more elegant than primary colors. 11 a.m. Frank Williams leaves, and we turn to a discussion of the demolition work at Trump Park. Andy tells me it's not finished and that the contractor had just given us a $175,000 bill for extras. Extras are the costs a contractor adds to his original bid every time he requests any change in the plan you initially agreed on. You have to be very rough and very tough with most contractors, or they'll take the shirt right off your back. I pick up the phone and dial the guy in charge of demolition at Trump Park. Steve, I say when I get him. This is Donald Trump. Listen, you've got to get your ass moving and get finished. You're behind. I want you to get personally involved in this. He starts to give me explanations, but I cut him off. I don't want to know. I just want you to get the job done and get out. And listen, Steve, you're killing me on these extras. I don't want you to deal with Andy anymore on the extras. I want you to deal with me personally. If you try screwing me on this job, you won't be getting a second chance. I'll never hire you again. My second concern is the laying of floors. I asked Andy for the number of our concrete guy. Okay, I say, only half joking. I'm going to take my life in my hands now. Concrete guys can be actually rough. I get the number 2 guy on the line. Look, I say to him, your boss wanted this contract very badly. I was set to give it to someone else, but he told me he'd do a great job. I walked the site yesterday, and the patches you're making aren't level with the existing concrete, and some places they're as much as a quarter inch off. The guy doesn't have any response, so I keep talking. Nobody has the potential to give you more work in the future than Trump. I'm going to be building when everyone else has gone bust. So do me a favor, get this thing done right. This time the guy has a response. Every guy on the job is a pro, he says. We're giving you our best men, Mr. Trump. Good, I say. Call me later and let me know how you're doing. 12 noon. Alan Greenberg calls to tell me that Holiday has gone ahead and enacted some poison pill provisions that will weigh the company down with debt and make it much less attractive as a takeover target. I'm not worried. No poison pill is going to keep me from going after Holiday Inn if that's what I decide I want to do. The market is still taking a drubbing. It was off 80 points yesterday, and it's down another 25 today. But Holiday is off only a point. Alan tells me that we've now bought almost 5% of the company. 12:15 p.m. Blanche stays on after Andy leaves to get me to choose a print advertisement for Trump Park. She shows me a half dozen choices, and I don't like any of them. She is furious. Blanche wants to use a line drawing that shows the building and its panoramic views of Central Park. I like the idea of a line drawing, I tell her, but I don't like these. Also, I want a drawing that shows more of the buildings. Central Park is great, but in the end, I'm not selling a park. I'm selling a building and apartments. 12:30 p.m. Norma comes in carrying a huge pile of forms I have to sign as part of my application for a Nevada gaming license. While I'm signing, Norma asks who I want to use as character references. I think for a minute and tell her to put down General Pete Dawkins, a great Army football hero, a terrific guy, and a good friend who's now an investment banker at Shearson, Benjamin Holloway, chairman and CEO of Equitable Real Estate Group, and Conrad Stevenson of Chase Manhattan Bank. Also, I tell Norma, put down John Carnell O'Connor. John Carnell O'Connor. 12:45 p.m. Ivana rings. She's in the office and wants me to go with her to see another school we're considering sending our daughter to next fall. Come on, Donald, she says. You haven't got anything else to do. Sometimes I think she really believes it. Actually, honey, I'm a little busy right now, I tell her. It doesn't work. 3 minutes later, she's in my office tugging at my sleeve. I finish signing the forms and we go. 2:30 p.m. Bill Fugazi calls. I like to call him Willie the Fug. And he doesn't seem to appreciate it. Fugazi's business is limousines, but he really should have been a broker. The guy knows everyone. He's one of Lee Iacocca's best friends, and he's the person who recommended to the Carnell that he meet with me to discuss real estate and to get to know each other better. Fugazi asked me how dinner went last night at St. Pat's, and I tell him it was great. Before we hang up, we set a golf date for the weekend. 2:45 p.m. John D'Aliso, the construction manager on my triplex in Trump Tower, comes by to discuss the progress. He is carrying drawings except for the third floor where the kids are and the roof where someday I'm going to build a park 68 stories up. I've gutted the whole apartment. In truth, I've gone a little overboard. First of all, I practically doubled the size of what I had been taking over the adjacent apartment. I doubled the size of what I have by taking over the adjacent apartment. What I'm doing is about as close as you're going to get in the 20th century to the quality of Versailles. Everything is made to order. For example, we had the finest craftsmen in Italy hand-carved 27 solid marble columns for the living room. They arrived yesterday and they're beautiful. I can't afford the finest workmanship. And when it comes to my own apartment, I figure, why spare any expense? I want the best, whatever it takes. I look over the drawings with John and Mark up a few changes. Then I ask how the job is going. I look over the drawings with John and mark up a few changes. Then I ask how the job is going. Not bad, he said. We're getting there. Well, push, John, I say. Push hard. 3:30 p.m. A Greek shipping magnate is on the line. How's the shipping business? I ask. He tells me he has a deal he'd like to discuss. He doesn't say what it is, but with certain people you don't ask. If it wasn't big, I assume he wouldn't waste my time. We set a date. 4 p.m. I get a call from a guy who sells and leases corporate airplanes. I've been considering buying a G4, the jet that most corporations use. I tell the guy on the phone that I'm still interested in a plane, but that he should keep his eye out for a 727, which is what I really want. 4:30 p.m. Nick Ribby calls from Australia. He tells me things are going very well on our negotiations to be designated builder and operator of the world's largest casino. Nick fills me in on the details and says that we should know more by the following Monday. Sounds great, I tell him. Call me before you fly back. 4:45 p.m. Norma tells me that David Letterman, the talk show host, is downstairs in the atrium of Trump Tower. Let me start over. 4:45 p.m. Norma tells me that David Letterman, the talk show host, is downstairs in the atrium of Trump Tower filming a day in the life of two out-of-town tourists. He'd like to know if they could stop up and say hello. I almost never stay up late enough to watch Letterman, but I know he's hot. I say sure. 5 minutes later, Letterman walks in along with the cameraman and a couple of assistants and a very nice-looking married couple from Louisville. We kid around a little and I say what a great town I think Louisville is. Maybe we should all go in together on a deal there. Letterman asks me how much an apartment goes for in Trump Tower. I tell him that he might be able to pick up a one-bedroom for $1 million. Tell me the truth, Letterman says after a few minutes of bantering. It's Friday afternoon. You get a call from us out of the blue. You tell us we can come up. Now you're standing here talking to us. You must not have much to do. Truthfully, David, I say you're right. Absolutely nothing to do. There's no Saturday or Sunday, so maybe that's just all he wants to give. I'm sure he works those days. Maybe he doesn't.